All right, everyone, here we go. We're going to go ahead and get started with the next page, or at least do the demo for it. Um, this is kind of an open-ended project, or at least page in the project. So as we move forward, you kind of get more and more autonomy, or you kind of work more and more on your own. Because we've had so much practice, right? Drawing in perspective, we're kind of turning it over to you so you can draw things kind of how you want them. We sort of saw that with the previous page, page 9, where you had to draw your room. Obviously, they gave you an image to copy, but sorry, one second. But you could kind of put your own spin on it if you need to. So we're going to be doing the same thing here. We're going to talk out these steps just one at a time, and then I'll actually do the demo for you, and then you can kind of start to build your own city. But as usual, we're going to start at the top of the page. Oh, if you need this page, if you do not have your packet, I went ahead and posted this page in particular on the Classroom stream. If you need to look at that while I'm doing this demo, that's fine. You can also complete this either on the space provided, which is on the other side, the following page, or you can do this on a regular sheet of paper, which is what I will be doing. All right, so we're drawing a city in one-point perspective. It's a little bit different than drawing the inside of a room, but really it's not that different. The same rules apply, as you can see, moving down here, but let me just talk through them real quick. So look at the steps for creating a city in one-point perspective below. On the next page, you'll create your own city. Try large, small, flat, skinny, and long buildings. Try adding details like windows, roads, benches, lights, cars, etc. Be creative. It is art class after all. So, just looking over here at our number of steps. First thing we want to do is draw your horizon line. So that's just a straight line coming across the page. And again, you don't have to do anything right now. We're just talking through so you can kind of get a sense of what we're doing. We will follow all these steps here in a minute. Step 2 is draw your vanishing point. Remember, your vanishing point always sits on your horizon line. Looks like this line has been drawn a little bit further up, and it looks like our paper is kind of oriented sideways. So instead of a vertical paper portrait, right, we're going to do landscape, which we'll kind of discuss here in a little bit. Apparently it's hot in here. My dog is painting. Step 3, we're going to draw a rectangle. And you can put that rectangle almost anywhere that you want. You can find out just by experimentation, by building the city, that depending on where you put that rectangle, right, it's going to make your city look a little bit different. I think we're going to start with one just right there so we can kind of experiment with it. But yeah, you'll kind of see how this works. So step number 1 is a regular old rectangle. This one kind of looks like a square. Looks like all the sides are pretty much even. After that, we're going to follow some normal steps. So draw orthogonals from the corner to the vanishing point, right? This is something that we do all the time when we're drawing in perspective, right? So we're taking the corners to the vanishing point, right? Those diagonal orthogonal lines. And then step 5 is draw your horizontal and vertical lines to end the building. So we have horizontal lines in the front, which means we have a horizontal line in the back and a gnat flying through. We have vertical lines on this other edge, which means we have vertical lines in the back. As usual, after that, we're going to go ahead and erase the lines that we do not need, right? And then we're just going to rinse and repeat. So draw another form, add windows and doors, and try stacking forms on top of one another, just like what's going on over here. Yeah, so what I want to do today is kind of go over how to set this up. I will also go over how to do windows and doors. But then I'm going to kind of turn you loose and you get to draw your own little city. All right. So here we go. Either flip. Sorry, does anyone have any questions on those instructions? I'm going to demo those right now. All right, good deal. So either flip your page over. I would recommend turning your paper sideways, landscape. I'm going to use just a regular old sheet of paper. Just because I want to keep my packet as clean as possible. I'm going to keep this over here though so we can refer to it. Ruler, check. Here we go. All right, so here we go. We're going to try to draw a city and see how it goes. Step number 1. We're drawing a horizontal line, so this is going to be a horizon line, right? So I'm going to make mine almost at the top. I want to give myself kind of a lot of room to draw on the bottom. So kind of in the upper half of your paper, make a horizontal line. It's just a little bit easier for me to draw vertically, so I'm going to do that. Just turn my whole paper, line it up as best I can, and make my horizon line. I got a little dip in my ruler, which is why I'm doing this. You probably don't have to. There we go. Horizon line with a little break. Not bad, not bad. All right, horizon line has been completed. Step number 2 is going to be a vanishing point. Remember that vanishing point? Yes, Jesus asked if we're doing landscape, and I would recommend that for this particular drawing. Yes. Next step is we're going to put a vanishing point. It has to go on the horizon line. It looks like it's a little off to the left, kind of like our last one, so we'll go ahead and do that. Draw our vanishing point, right? Because we're definitely going to need to use that. All right, step number, what are we on? 4. Oh no, 3. We're going to draw a rectangle. So I'm going to put my rectangle down in the lower left-hand corner, exactly like what we have, on the page. If you want to switch yours up, you totally can. Otherwise, just do a little rectangle. Just a normal rectangle. That's actually quite large. You probably don't have to do quite as large as I did. Yeah, matter of fact, I'm going to move mine over. Erase. At least we're using pencil. Right. I'm going to make mine low so we can see what's going on. I'm going to change my size to about that big. Maybe I'll make it a little shorter, who knows. Using my ruler to create this box and not doing a very good job. Right. So I'm going to put mine kind of lower left. I'm going to make the first one small just so we can build it up if we need to. All right. So we got our rectangle. Afterwards, you know the steps. We're going orthogonal lines from the corners of our shape back to the vanishing point. While my dog coughs in the background. All right. Orthogonal. Again, just lining up your lines going through the vanishing point and the corners. All right, looks something like that. That's about what we have, right, on our paper. It looks about the same as it does in the instructions, so we're good to go. Step 4 is complete. Next step is drawing parallel lines or horizontal and vertical lines somewhere in the back to end our building, right? So I'm going to start with my horizontal line. It doesn't really matter where it goes. If you want to make a longer building, you slide it further up. If you want to make a short little building, you don't slide very far, right? So the farther you put your horizontal line, the longer your building will be. The closer to this front horizontal line you put your line, your back line, the shorter it will be. So I'm going to make mine a little bit long, just like what we have in the photo. Again, this front line is horizontal, so I know my back line is going to be horizontal. All right, and we're just going from orthogonal to orthogonal. Now, on our next edge of our building, we know that our front is vertical, so our back line is going to be vertical as well, and we're just going to go just as far as the intersection of our first horizontal line. All right, and don't forget to erase everything you don't need, starting at the vanishing point and erasing towards your shape. Looks like some of my lines were a little bit off here, but we'll make it work. There we go. I think I just made it worse, but that's all right. All right, and there we are. We have essentially our first building done. Next thing I want to talk about is how to make doors and windows. You're going to make use of vertical lines and orthogonal lines to do that. So say, first thing you want to do when you're building windows is you want to kind of identify what side you're going to be drawing on. So if you're drawing on a side of the building that is facing you, that's going to be a little bit different than if you're drawing on the side that kind of faces, I don't know, to the right or like the street. So if you're drawing windows on the side that faces you, or even a doorway, they're built the same way, it's going to be pretty straightforward. So if you're drawing something that's just facing you directly, you're just going to wind up drawing vertical and horizontal lines. Right, and making a little door. Boom, easy. The only thing that's going to change as we draw over here is instead of using horizontal lines, we're going to use orthogonal lines. So to draw the top and the bottom of a door, so we're going to do a door. We'll just stick with doors. If we do a door on this side, it's going to look slightly different. We're going to use our ruler to make an orthogonal line. Right? And then we're going to use our ruler to make vertical lines as well. All right, so technically that's what a door looks like on the orthogonal side of the building. And again, it looks a little bit weird because I wasn't super careful with this edge, right? But that's kind of how it works. Yeah, so that's our first building. What your job is going to be is to kind of create another more buildings, right? You can build them in a bunch of different ways, and this is when we kind of have that. I call it building, even though you're drawing, but you're stacking shapes on top of one another in order to draw your city, right? So a city has a bunch of different buildings, right? That's the point. So kind of want to see what you come up with without me drawing more. So we kind of did a demo for one. I want to see kind of what your city looks like and how you choose to build it. So I'm not going to demo anything more today. I just want to give you some work time to continue drawing your city so you can kind of use this page as a guide. Oh, there we go. So we have one. It kind of looks like this, sort of. Then you can kind of stack these buildings and try to create a city of your own. All right. Just make sure that you're following the rules of perspective and make sure that you're using this central vanishing point. So if you have a building on the left, it's going to be, you can see the right side in the top. If you have a building that starts right over on the right side of the vanishing point, it's going to disappear towards that vanishing point. So you're going to see this interior shape. Yes. All right, everyone. Questions, concerns, comments?